Hi everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you? I am so excited to be here with you. I hope that you enjoy this final project for week number 2. Can you believe we're at the end of week 2 of Halloween projects? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope that you've enjoyed the past 13 projects that I've made for you. There's a new one every single day. I enjoy doing Halloween so much, I can't stop. And you guys get the benefit of that. Every year I do 4 weeks of Halloween, and I'm going to do it again this year. I'm going to keep coming up with projects and ideas, and hopefully you guys, by the end of week 4, you'll be ready to order and get the things that you want for Halloween so that you can get started on your projects. All right, so let's get started. So today we are making a really, really cute project. It is my Pumpkin Strip Lollipop Treat holder. So yep, there's a lollipop in there. I'm going to let you have a peek. There it is. So I will teach you how to make this really fun project with these little strips of paper. And we have a fun tag as well to go with it. It says Happy Halloween. And you have a 3-dimensional pumpkin with a cute little ribbon stem. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to lay it here. It's going to roll around. It's not the most ideal thing to have it flat, but it is not hard to make. Wait until I show you how fun it is. So let's go ahead and get started. We're using the Pick Up the Patch Nested Essential Dies. The Pick of the Patch is a bundle that comes with a punch, so I hope that you will enjoy the project and you'll check out that bundle in my online store. The link's in the description below, and if you don't know how to get to the description below, you want to click on See More, and that will help you. Okay, so the blow pops, I found this really cool package. They're called Way Too Sour. I think they're fantastic. They're Charms blow pops, but they're sour. Love them. There's 5 different flavors, and you never know what you're going to get in your package, right? So I decided, since my pumpkin was orange, to go with a green blow pop. So we're using the sour apple, which is another fall flavor, right? So let's go ahead and do our stamping first for our tag. Get all that out of the way. So we're using the Nested Essential Dies, and we're using the second size from the smallest. For that is our little tag. All right, and we are going to be stamping. I'm going to bring the stamp set out here so you guys can see. I have some scrap paper here, and we're going to stamp 2 things. We're going to stamp Happy Halloween, and that's going to be in not Granny Apple Green. Goodness gracious, I can't even think. Garden Green. So that's going to go on this piece here, and I'm going to fussy cut around it for you, but not yet. Let's just get it going. We'll get our stamping out of the way, right? So there's that. That's done. Let me clean that off. All right, and we're going to do our pumpkin in Pumpkin Pie. And the pumpkin that I'm using is the little one, this tiny one right here. We're using the stem, and then this is the curly Q that we're using, and of course it says Happy Halloween. That's that. So Happy Halloween, this curly Q, this stem, and this pumpkin are the ones that we're using. So we're going to stamp our pumpkin on this little scrap paper, and it's going to be in our Pumpkin Pie ink. I'm going to kind of stamp it to the left-hand side here. All right, so there's our pumpkin. Let's clean it. That's it for orange. We're going to need that garden green a couple more times, so let's leave that out. All right, so we're going to do the stem, and like I did when I did my little treat sacks, I'm not using the full stem, so I'm just going to grab the portion that I want to be green. I need to bring it down a little, guys. Sorry, I can't really see well. There we go. So there's the stem. And now we're going to put the vine. So let's go ahead and grab that, and we're going to attach that onto our little pumpkin. All right. Now all the stamping is out of our way. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these and get everything ready, and then we'll work on our pumpkin. So the first thing that we want to do is grab our paper snips, and we are going to cut out, we'll start with a Happy Halloween. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim down both sides of the word Halloween and along the bottom of it, because that's the easiest part of the fussy cutting. So see, 3/4 of the way done. So we're going to come in here, and I like to cut all the way to the points if I can. If the paper is cooperating and I can hold it, I do like to cut all the way to the end of my scissor, but it doesn't always work out like that. A lot of times I'll just shift my scissor before I get too close to the end. But when I'm doing a snip like what I just did there, I definitely use the end of my scissor. So I'm going to trim that away. We're going to finish the rest of that H, and then we'll be down and back here where we're going to go ahead and finish that straight piece. So let's leave that to the side. Now comes our pumpkin. I'm going to start up here with the stem, and we're going to work our way around. Again, this is the easiest part. 3/4 of the way is going to be done when I get to that curly Q. And I know that some of you don't like to fussy cut, but what I would like to say to you guys who don't like to fussy cut, you don't like it because you don't do it. And you don't do it because you don't like it. But the more you fussy cut, I promise you, the better you're going to get at it. So if you want to be a good fussy cutter, you have to try. Practice makes perfect. It's absolutely the truth. And you can do it. Just take your time, make sure you hold your scissor in place, and you shift the paper. You move the paper with your non-dominant hand like I'm doing right here, okay? I'm gonna actually come in, I'm gonna actually get rid of some of this extra paper because I don't need it in my way, okay? So I'm gonna come in with the tip, and I'm gonna come around this curly Q, and you can use just the tip if you want for these like intricate portions. So you want to just keep snipping with the tip until you get to the easy part again, where you can slide your scissor into that piece and pivot it around. I need to go in a smidge more, there we go. And pivot it around your piece. And then if you need to trim with the point again, you can come in and do that once you're all done. I mean, I may need to trim just a hair. And we're almost done. That's it. That was the hardest part. And if you don't want to get that intricate, you can just go around the curl without going into those pieces. Your choice. But I'm going to come in here and I'm going to snip just that tiny little extra piece that I have right there. There it is. And I'm going to finish it off by coming in from under here. There we go. So that to me is a lot easier when you have the right tools, right? You have the paper snips. They cut all the way to the tip. They're super sharp and fantastic. All right, so here is our little tag. And we are going to use some dimensionals. So I'm going to put a regular size dimensional on the back of my pumpkin. And then I'm going to use minis on my words, just 2. Well, if I can, I just pulled the backing off of that one, so I guess I better use it. One there, and one there. All right. I'm gonna leave that backing there so I have to remember that it's off. And then you can use just 1/8 of an inch hole punch to punch a little hole at the top. I have one sitting here on my table that I used for my last video, and it's actually a double hole punch, but I just want one hole, so I'm just gonna stick it in enough to get the one hole, and there it is. It doesn't even matter if it's perfectly centered or even, because it will work out, trust me. So I have a piece of about 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches of the twine, and it's from the Essential Twine Pack. This is the crumb cake. It comes in those 5 colors right there. And what you want to do is you want to take the ends and you want to grab those, wrap them around your finger, and you don't want your tag to hang too far down. So as you can see here, it's a very short loop that I have on my piece. So you want to do the same thing here. You want to make sure that your loop doesn't get too long. So once I know where I want it to be, I'm just going to keep sliding that knot down until it gets to be the length that I want. And I'm just going to tighten it up little by little. All right, and then I'm going to trim this end right there. Okay, let's go ahead and put our tag together. So I'm going to take the knot, and I always like to slide it to the back. To me, it sits really nice in the hole. All right, and so we're going to grab our Take Your Pick tool, put our pumpkin, and the pumpkin's going to go to the left right here. And then I'm going to finish taking that last dimensional backing off. And we're going to tuck the word Halloween down like that. You don't want to make sure that you don't cover the knot because you want that to show. All right, so there's our tag ready to go. All right, all our stamping part is done, so let's work on our pumpkin, okay? We have a nice piece of ribbon. I'm not sure, about 8 inches. Let me double measure that for you. I'm guessing. Hey, not a bad guess. 9 inches. You probably don't need it that long, but that's okay. What you want to do is you want to start by tying a knot on that end, on one end, okay? And you want to pull it to the bottom like that. You don't need a lot. You just want that knot to be on one end. Put that to the side. You're going to start with 1/2 inch strips of cardstock and designer series paper. So I'm using the Them Bones DSP, which is what these little bats and moons are, and then Pumpkin Pie is my cardstock. So I have 4 strips that are 1/2 inch by 4.5 inches, and I've stacked them one on top of each other. So I have basically 8 pieces, 4 DSPs and 4 cardstock, one at a time, one each. And then this is my crocodile. I hope you guys have one of these. Stampin' Up used to sell these, but I think they're still on the market. We no longer sell this as well, but there's a larger hole and a smaller one, and we want the larger of the 2 holes. And what you want to do is you want to stack your little set of 4 pieces of cardstock and 4 pieces of DSP, and that's a good thickness to push through the crocodile. The crocodile actually makes it so easy to punch holes through nice thick pieces. It's a super strong piece. So you want to come in, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, and you want to make sure that your stack is even as best you can. You just want to hold it nice and even. All right, and you want to make sure that you have it steady. It's hard for me because my left hand doesn't work so great. It's the one I had the surgery on, so I'm trying my best for you. And then you're going to push with your, if that's too many for you to punch through, then just use less. But I like to do the more the merrier because that way it takes me less time. Okay, so see, there's your hole at the top. Okay, so there's the first one. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to do this 4 times if you do the 8 pieces. All right. So there's that one. And I like to try and push all these little pieces out. There we go. So there's the first set. And let's grab the second set. And I divided it to make it a little easier to punch the holes. And you want to purge the piece so that you can see where you're placing your hole. And you can't see very well if there's paper in there, which is why I shake it out of my crocodile. All right, so we're doing our last one now. All right, so there, and shake those out. All right, so now we have 2 sets of 8, and we're done with our crocodile. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I'm a little thirsty and parched. All right. So you can stack them on top of each other. Make sure all your bats are going the same direction. Okay, now that you've punched them, the holes should line up pretty well. I mean, if you do a decent job, they will. Okay, so what we want to do first is we want the knot to be on the outside of the bottom. So how do you know it's the bottom? It's the one where the bats are upside down in your hand. If you hold it, that's the bottom. And you want to go from the back side, in other words, your solid cardstock piece, and you want to push that through. Okay. I actually did it the wrong way. Sorry, guys. The other way. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm thinking. So you want to take your piece and you want to push it from the side with the DSP to the side. You want your knot to be where the DSP is, but you don't want to push it all the way through yet because you're going to put your lollipop stem through there. Okay. So you're going to grab your lollipop and you're going to push it through all those pieces. Okay. And then you're going to yank on your knot so that it's to the bottom. But you want to push your lollipop till it's through that piece, okay? This is how you're going to form your pumpkin. Then you're going to take your other piece of ribbon and you're going to stack it together and you want to push it through and you want it to come out again on the side that has the bats, okay? So see how it looks really weird right now? That's okay. So you want to yank on this piece, and when you do it, it's gonna bow your strip, okay? And you want to bow it a good amount, and when you're happy with how your arc of your pumpkin is gonna be, you want your ribbon to be straight. Okay, and you don't want too much slack in there. So you want it to be straight, and you want to now tie a knot on this end, and you want to hold this strip of cardstock so that it doesn't, move on you. Okay, you want to tie a knot like you were tying it into a balloon. And you know how you slide that knot where you want it? We're going to do the same thing. We're sliding that knot down, and I'm going to tie a second and a third one. Okay? Right there. Okay, so there's one. Now I'm going to push it down a little farther, and I'm going to tie that second knot right over the top of the first one. I want it to be a nice thick knot so I know it's not going to go through that hole. All right, so there is my curved designer series paper and cardstock surrounding my blow pop. Okay, now when you give this as a gift, all they have to do is slide the blow pop out like that. Okay, and then they can have this cute little pumpkin left over. So they'll still have a treat when they're done eating the candy that's inside, okay? So let me show you what to do once you've tied your knot on the top. You want to start slowly sliding your pieces Remember, it's going to be DSP cardstock. The next one is DSP, then cardstock. And you're going to slowly start opening those strips of cardstock and DSP. You just want to make sure you don't forget any of them, that you don't miss any of them. And you're just going to little by little, and you see what's starting to happen? We're starting to form our pumpkin shape. All right, so you're just going to keep going all the way around, and eventually your pumpkin piece will be round. So you're just going to slowly, one at a time, bring your cardstock and designer series paper, and it's always alternated. So you have a solid and a pattern, a solid and a pattern. Little by little, just separate them and push them together, okay? Slowly, and you gotta kind of push on this for a minute and get it to form as you're doing. Then you can always fit your lollipop back inside. So you want to make sure that it's a nice pumpkin shape, right? So we're gonna one by one pull our pieces. We're almost done. We have one more solid orange one. It's gonna go right there. All right. So once you have them the way they need to be, you're gonna smush your pumpkin down, and you're gonna make sure that your lollipop is inside at the point, and you're just gonna push your pumpkin. And when you push it, now that all your pieces are open, you're gonna go ahead and finish opening all your little strips while you have it smushed down. And just make sure that all of your pieces are separated. I missed one, there we go. Remember, it's always every other, so if you miss one, that you just gotta pull the right one. We have one more right here, and that's our last one. All right, so now I have it smushed and separated, and it's formed our pumpkin, so we're just gonna kind of push that down, and we have our little pumpkin. What I like to do with the piece that's shorter, because it's the inside, is I like to take my outside strip and tuck it right over the top of the one that's inside so that it overlaps. And you have this swirled pumpkin, but you will be able to maneuver and fix and manipulate it until you have a nice little round pumpkin. It just takes a few minutes of kind of like messing with your pumpkin, kind of moving it back and forth and getting it to be really cute. Once you've finalized it, remember to tuck that piece in there, okay? So now we have our little pumpkin, and now we're gonna attach our label, okay? So what we wanna do is we wanna take this end and we want to loop our tag on here through that part that's gonna become the stem, okay? So there's our tag, and figure out what part of the pumpkin you want it to be on. So I kind of like it right there. So I'm just gonna loop it underneath that knot that I've made and get that to go kind of underneath the twine, to go underneath that knot, which will help hold it in place for you. See right there? Now this end here, we're gonna tuck it underneath this open section so that it holds and it forms our little stem. So what we need to do is we need, on this piece, we need to put some mini glue dots. So I'm gonna grab 2 of them. I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool. That's what I like to grab the mini glue dots with. And I'm just gonna lift them off carefully. I'm gonna put one on this end and then one right below it. All right, so I have 2. I'm gonna try and show you in the camera if I can. But they're one right underneath each other. There you go, see? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your stem and you're gonna separate this at some point here, and you're gonna tuck those 2 glue dots underneath, stick your finger under there and get it to hold, and then that will form the stem of your pumpkin, okay? And then you have to just adjust your cute little pumpkin. Make sure that your lollipop is in there good, that you've curved your pumpkin exactly how you want it. All your little sides are engaged. I've separated this one here. There we go. All right. And once you've done that, you have your cute, whoops, I think this one is missing. Let's see, 1, 2, yeah, it's hiding. Get under there. That one is hiding. So you're just gonna start separating those pieces just like that. Trust me, it sounds a lot harder than it is. You're just gonna work with it until you get your pumpkin exactly how you want. And then this is your little pumpkin gift. Isn't it super cute? And it's very easy. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching me make this cute little pumpkin lollipop holder. We used the pick of the patch. We used the punch that goes with it also. Well, actually, we didn't actually punch anything, but it is a bundle. So don't miss out on that. Let's move these guys over. All right. So the pick of the patch bundle, and then our nested essential dies is what I used for the tag. These are really fun. I've enjoyed using the nested essential since they've come out, and I think they're pretty fantastic. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you missed yesterday's video, oh my gosh, it was so cute. The pumpkin spice popcorn ghosts. If you missed those, check out the video. It's linked right up here. You can watch that. If you missed last week, I hope that you'll catch up and watch the videos. Just go to Inky Hands Warm Hearts, type it in the search, or you can click on my photo in the bottom corner and it should take you to my page. And if you click on my photo the second time, it brings you to all my videos. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that I will see you soon. Again, click right up there and I will see you next time. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!